back to my channel, to all of my subscribers, and welcome if this is the first time you're joining me. My name is Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, spiritual coach, and an intuitive tarot card reader. And through the work I'm doing here on YouTube, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and my own website, odessamall.com, I deliver messages to you that will help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. So I'm really excited about today's topic. I've been waiting a really long time to do this one for you guys, sort of waiting for my guides to give me the go-ahead. But I'm going to be looking into your life purpose today. So I have 3 piles for you guys to select from. Pile number 1 is partnered with the butterfly, a symbol of transformation. And you also have the apophyllite crystal, which is used to open up the crown chakra that's at the top of your head. It helps you to have a stronger bond with your higher self and your spirit team. And then pile number 2 is partnered with lavender as a medicinal herb. This is often used to reduce stress. It can also help with sleep patterns. And you also have amethyst, which is a crystal that's used to open up the third eye and increase your psychic abilities. And then finally, pile number 3 is partnered with the water lily candle. Water lilies are a symbol of spiritual awakening. It can also be talking about diving into the shadow and confronting our deepest, darkest secrets. And then you also have green muscovite or green fuchsite. This particular crystal is used to open up the heart chakra. It also helps with reducing stress and alleviating any kind of trauma that we're hanging on to from the past. So I will give you guys a second to select your pile. I'm going to give you a close-up of the items and the cards in just a second, and I'll see you at your pile. Hi, pile number 1, welcome back. So you picked the butterfly and the apophyllite, and I want to let you know, if you're not already aware, I'm running a contest this month. You can win a free mini reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, and then on the first of the month, I will announce the winner on my community tab. And this is the last of the free mini readings that I'm going to be giving away for the next little while. So make sure you get in on this one. Plus, I love chatting with you guys in the comments. So let me know how it resonates. So these cards are going to let me know what your life purpose is in general. Then I'm going to get some more details so that we can nail down kind of what area of your life you're going to be executing this in, like whether it's connected back to your career or some other area, what your gifts and talents are that either you're already possessing that you're going to be utilizing to fulfill this, or new things that are going to be unfolding for you. And then I'm going to be giving you an idea of how it's all sort of going to play out, and then final advice from your guides. So let's see what you've got. Furred and feathered friends, the rattle, the circle, the maiden, the self, and ace of water, face of the deep. Wow, okay, pile number 1. So your life purpose is deeply connected back to your sense of self, right? With the card, the self. This is talking about you really being able to look within and find the pearl within you that makes you feel grounded and whole and fulfilled with who you are and your identity without having to look to others to feel fulfilled. This also is talking about having a deeper understanding of yourself beyond who you are in this moment. We're infinite beings. We live forever. You have lived hundreds, if not thousands, of past lives, and the roles that you played in those past lives influence who you are in this moment now. The skills that you gathered, the lessons that you learned, all shaped you into the person that you are now, but you don't remember any of that information. But it's there, just waiting for you to discover it. With the deep, this is the primordial energy of water itself. The energy that was at the beginning of creation. This is a representation of the divine feminine and our link to our spiritual nature. Water is a conductor of energy. It's also the great dissolver. Everything dissolves in water given enough time. So with these two cards, and then with the energy of the rattle, which is talking about vibrations, and the circle, which is talking about cycles of life, like reincarnation, the evolution that we go through within one lifetime, the cycles of nature that are going on around us. It's all about transformation, like the butterfly. And then with the maiden, this is talking about you being a source of inspiration, creativity, birth. There's also a playfulness and a curiosity and a thirst for life that comes out of this card. And then with the furred and feathered friends, this is talking about you being able to see the family link between not only you and other humans, but you and the entire universe, literally everything that is on this planet. This is such a pivotal lesson of spiritual development to have in a lifetime. It is foundational to come to a place where you realize that there is no separation between you and everything else on the planet, everyone else on the planet. We are all connected. We all come from the same energy source. The differences that we see between us are an illusion, that there are energies that are at play around us, powers that can be individuals, but oftentimes it is established traditions or structures that are in place that deceive us and manipulate us to think that there is a difference between us and other people, or us and the animals or the plants, so that we're constantly in this imbalance where we're seeking, we're striving, we're looking outside of ourselves for fulfillment. But this is telling me that you are going to go through some sort of spiritual awakening, a breakthrough, a pivotal shift in your consciousness where you finally have the, veil ripped away from you, and you are no longer going to be fooled by the propaganda that we're constantly being sort of inundated with. And you're going to see that if you see yourself as beautiful and worthy, that is all that matters. And then when you make that shift and you make that transition, all of a sudden you are going to become this master manifester, where you will be able to harness the power of your own thoughts to create any reality you want. And the colors around you are going to be brighter. The foods are going to be sweeter. The interactions that you have with everything on this planet on a daily basis is going to feel so fulfilling. You're no longer going to be wanting to be part of the rat race. It doesn't mean that you're just going to go onto a mountaintop and start meditating and, give up all of your earthly possessions and just become a monk or a nun. Absolutely not. And I'm not even saying that you're going to become this devoutly spiritual person in the context that we sort of align world religions with. Absolutely not. You are just going to set yourself free from the chains of dogma and from the ego. You're not going to play that game any longer, and you're going to accept yourself for who you are. You're not going to judge your body or your skin tone or your ethnic group or your cultural heritage or your IQ or your mental health or the people that you love or the things that you like to participate in. You're not going to judge that for yourself. And once you free yourself, there's no way you'll be able to hold other people to that expectations either. You will literally see the interconnectedness of all things. We are all one. We are family. The idea that there is an other, which has been pushed on us since the beginning of civilization, predominantly by capitalism and the patriarchy, it's an illusion, and it's meant to keep us all in chains. If they can get us to interfight with each other, then we can't take down them. We can't disrupt the establishment. And that old world order is done. And you are going to be part of that change. And when I say this to you, you might think this is nuts. This lady is crazy. You may have already turned this off. But ultimately, this is your divine life purpose. And you may not relate to this yet, but you will. And your guides and your ancestors are going to continually bring you new information through synchronicity, through happenstance, that helps you to see your world in a different way. And it will shift and change you, and you will start to grow. You'll be moving forward. You then become the spiral, constantly rotating out from one center point. You're growing, expanding, but also continuously moving forward. And there is no going back from that. You can't de-evolve. There's always going to be that push inside you, pushing you forward. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that kind of drive inside yourself before, where you want a different outcome or a different future for yourself. But every time you try and just, conform, something feels like it's dying inside. It's because your purpose is down another pathway. And some of us have to get to a point where we literally experience a tower moment, where spirit has to be very forceful in the redirection. I've experienced that. And others of us willingly surrender to the flow. But regardless of how you approach it, there's no wrong way, but your destiny, your life purpose is to see yourself as a piece in a much larger web of energy and life, and that your role is to be a shepherd and a guardian and a lover of all things. That you're responsible for nurturing and care of self and others. And if we all do that, we will be living much more fulfilling lives. Just imagine where we would be in the future if we redirected our energy away from trying to put somebody else down or protect what we believe is ours, and we just allowed ourselves to pursue our dreams and goals without worrying if someone else is going to get what's ours, and we just allowed everyone to just live their lives the way that they see fit, where we could be, the innovation that we could be experiencing if we weren't so worried about, taking things away and controlling outcomes. Wow. Okay, so let's see what field you guys are going to be executing this in. What is there a career field? How was pile number 1? Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So you got 2 cards. You got Albert Einstein, theory of relativity, theoretical physics, and Elizabeth I. This is definitely indicating to me that you are going to be in a position of great authority and power, that you are going to be coming up with innovative ways of seeing the world and explaining things to people that in a way that makes sense to them, where it was sort of an abstract idea. They couldn't articulate it. Now, you might be working in science in some regard. and doing innovation in that regard. But it doesn't have to be, right? Einstein is a symbol of being able to simplify very complex ideas so people can understand them easily. You maybe like explaining things in layman's terms, making theory that is inaccessible accessible. And you're going to be seen as someone who really is an authority, but also is, breaking new ground. Elizabeth I never married on the throne when typically you had only seen male monarchs, or you had seen queens, but they weren't the one that was really in charge, right? There would be a king and queen. You are going to be seen as someone who is also very, the energy that's coming forward is someone that is hard to turn away from, like is really breaking new ground and is one to watch. So you might be involved in social media in some regard. Elizabeth I really had an eye for fashion and changed the way that English fashion was created and worn, and groundbreaking stuff. Wow, that's really, really powerful. Okay, let's get some more cards. How is pile number 1? Oh, Ariana Huffington. Absolutely. I definitely feel like you are potentially doing something with social media or news. It could just be media. It could be journalism. There's something about you being a leader, simplifying complex ideas, working in fields that potentially were more dominated by divine masculines, right? Because that's definitely coming forward here with Ariana Huffington and Elizabeth I. And possibly refreshing outdated ideas, right? Bringing new life, a new perspective to things. That is wild. I love that. Okay, let's find out a little bit more about maybe what skills you're bringing to the table. What skills is pile number 1? Ooh, wishbone, affirmation. You are definitely using the power of your own thoughts. You might be starting with working on your sense of self through affirmations, through sleep affirmations, or you're doing what I refer to as mirror work, where you're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself more than once a day that you are amazing, you are gorgeous, you are talented, you can do anything, you're an innovator, you are going to bring new groundbreaking ideas to the world that are going to change everything. You are going to be known, you are going to be respected, you are going to be listened to. Like, that is the kind of thing that you need to be saying to yourself on a daily basis. You're going to be rewiring the neural pathways inside your own mind to redirect them towards positive, high vibrational thoughts, so that when you are working through problems in your day-to-day, the energy is flowing with you for success, not against you. And as far as manifestation goes, your thoughts become things. So if you are thinking about worst case scenarios, you are more likely to be adding to the manifestations of that worst case scenario that you want. It's a real art, right? Because I do feel like what you're going to be battling is really outdated thinking, right? And you need to be aware of what the situations are. There are going to be people that are going up against you. There are going to be people that are going to want to shut you down. And you have to be aware of what they are thinking, their perspective, without allowing them to emotionally trigger you. You have to be like completely high vibrational and loving, but at the same time cold as ice. Like, everything that they say that they're sending your way to trigger you, it's like you're like Neo in the Matrix. You're just like avoiding all of that. No, none of that is going to hit you. It affects you. It doesn't affect you at all, and you're able to just stay the course. And it is so hard, and it's something that you really are going to have to practice, but it comes from a place where first you know who you are, and if you know who you are, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. They can say that you're not smart, you have, business being here, you are beneath me, and you will know that that is coming from a place of pain within them, and it doesn't define you, and it means nothing, and it's just, you just swat it aside. Don't listen to them. And you got dreams, incubation. So there might be some really intense messages that come through to you in your dreams, or this could be you literally through your affirmations and the actions that you're taking, that you're making your dreams manifest. And your dreams could be on a personal level. It could be part of a larger group. This could be like shifting and changing your entire community. That is really powerful. I really love that. Okay, so let's find out what spiritual gifts you're going to be using. What spiritual gifts is pile number 1 going to be using to fulfill this life purpose? All right. Ooh, okay. So you got let's get grounded. So you are going to be deeply connected with the earth. Like I was saying before, you know who you are. You can't be rattled. You have a sense of inner peace that can't be taken away from you. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You know who you are, and you know why you're here, and you know what you are going to see in this lifetime, and it will help you to stay in a place of what they want me to say is equilibrium. And you also got psychic journaling. So you may, like with Ariana Huffington, going back to media, you might be a journalist. You might be writing a book or writing a song or poems or a blog. You're expressing ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be writing. It's about communication. And you're going to be channeling information from spirit and from your higher self, and you'll do it in your own way. There's definitely a creative outlet that you're going to be utilizing to express your message. And you don't necessarily, when I say you're like downloading or you're channeling information, every single person that has a new perspective on things has channeled that information from the other side, right? Whether you're aware of it or not. When I was working in fashion and I was a designer, all of my ideas were coming from the other side. All of it was coming through to me because I was linked with my higher self. That's where those divine inspirations come from. So you could like be a scientist and you are trying to work through a problem, and all of a sudden you have an epiphany. That's what I'm talking about. Where did that epiphany come from? Did you just sit there and you thought you could think your way through the problem? No, you did some sort of spiritual growth that freed up that energy to allow that to flow through to you. Obviously every single person here is going to be working very, very hard. Albert Einstein worked really, really, really hard to get to where he is, but he was a spiritual person, and he talked a lot about having divine inspiration. So that's what it looks like is coming through to you as well. So let's see how this is going to unfold for you guys. How is this life purpose going to unfold for pile number 1? What effect is it going to have? Woo! What effect is it going to have? How is this going to unfold for pile number 1? I love it. Oh my God. Okay, amazing. Okay, so just like any great hero, if you look at mythology, typically there is a point in time where the hero has to experience great pain, the Three of Swords, heartbreak and pain. And it can be so deep and so great that you feel like you're never going to be able to recover from it. But it's at that point where we go through a rebirth. You got the Death card. And this cycle will end for you, and all of a sudden you will go within yourself, the Hermit. You look within. You are on a journey of recovery. You are trying to put the pieces of the puzzle back together. But this Hermit card is talking about you aligning with a deeper sense of self, that spiritual nature where your guides and your ancestors come through to you and communicate with you in a variety of different ways, where it's so deep that you just can't deny that there is something bigger at play. And it will be scary and it will be beautiful all at the same time. My own personal experience with this, because I've gone through this as well, I relate to this, is that, you know, having that deeper sense of connection with source energy and knowing 100% that there was something that I was here to do, there was a message I was meant to deliver, gave me such overwhelming peace, and I felt so connected and so loved. But knowing what the message was that I was meant to share, the things that I was meant to say to you guys, also filled me with absolute dread and terror, you know, because I know that some of the things that I talk about for you guys is not the stuff that every reader is talking about. And it challenges people. And it can be things that trigger people. And I'm being pushed to say stuff like this even more. And you will have a message that, or actions that you're meant to take, that will also challenge you. You know, challenge your fear at being in the spotlight and going up against those that want everything to stay the way it already is. And you're going to overcome that. And you're going to start looking towards the future, the Two of Swords. You're going to make a decision to move forward. Because there are two pathways. You can walk down the pathway towards your life purpose, or you can take another road. But ultimately, to fulfill what you came here to do in this life, you have to walk towards your life purpose. And like I said, your guides will continuously try and redirect you. And if you have the bravery to move towards this and fulfill the purpose and say the things and be the person that you know in your heart you already are, you're going to be victorious. You're going to be known on a public stage. People will know who you are. They will be inspired by you. You're going to be a leader. But it takes courage to get there, and there'll be great rewards. There will be overwhelming rewards, but there will also be moments where you have to sort of face the monsters, and that can be scary. Let's see if there's some advice that Spirit would like you to have. What advice would you like pile number 1 to have? Okay, let's see. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so this is share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution expression. If you have felt like you were different, that you didn't belong, that people judged you, and maybe it's specific people, maybe it's society at large, maybe people are judging you for, you know, things that you can't control, maybe they're judging you for things that you can control, but you are meant to come out and shake off the chains. You can't be a victim to these people unless you let them control your mind. And you have the ability to say, no, I know who I am. And I am going to love myself unconditionally, even if you won't. And you've got inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Pour all of your attention into loving self unconditionally. Really dedicate serious time to that. And it will heal wounds that are inside you that you feel like you'll never recover from. If you've had a tense relationship with your parents and you feel angry at them because they didn't provide for you and they didn't meet your needs, and you feel like you'll never be able to get over that, you will be able to heal that within you. And I'm not saying that you're going to want to have a relationship with them. That's dramatically different. Having a relationship with someone and then forgiving the wounds and making peace with it and moving on, two totally separate things. It's up to each one of you what you want to do with these people. It might not be your parents. It might be like society. You might be really angry at a series of events that have taken place to you or your community over history. And you have to look within and heal that within yourself. Not because you're giving the structure or the people that persecuted you a pass. No, they're wrong. They're 100% wrong. But by hanging on to the anger, you're prolonging suffering. And you're meant to be the leader, to lead you and all of the people that are like you out of the darkness. And you won't be able to do that if you're still suffering. So you have to look within to find a way out of the suffering. Never forget though, you'll never forget what happened. You're just going to be empowered. And the reason you need to be empowered is because you're birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. You are part of a group of people, from my perspective, a group of souls that are here to literally change the direction that this world is going in. We can't keep going the way it has been. The system is broken on so many levels. I can't even get into how broken it is. And we need to wake up and take action and literally force them to change. We will force them to change the system because it does not work, and we are all connected. And what is going on now is ludicrous. It is literally does not make any sense. And once you understand, how this, how the energy of creation works, you'll see that too. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. This was so profound. This was so heavy. And I am so, so grateful that I was able to deliver these messages to you guys. If anyone would like to chat more about this with me, you could leave a comment, you could like, you could share this. You could also book a one-on-one session with me, and I could give you even more detail about this because you're each going to play a slightly different role. This is the general theme of your life purpose, but there'll be specifics that I'm not able to get into in a general reading. But you could go to my website, odessamal.com. I do tarot card readings, I do channeling, mediumship, talk to your spirit guides. I can go into the Akashic records and look at your past lives, which is fascinating, by the way. And I do Reiki crystal healing. And what else do I do? Spiritual coaching. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, file number 2, welcome back. So you picked the lavender and the amethyst. And I just want to let you guys know, in case you aren't aware, I'm running a contest this month. You can win a free mini reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and comment on this video. And then on the first of the month, I'll announce the winner on my community tab. I'd love to know how the reading resonates with you guys, so then you have the added bonus of possibly winning a mini reading. And this is the last one I'm going to be offering for the next little while. So definitely get in on that. So these cards are going to let me know what your life purpose is. So let's see what we've got here. So you have the crystal keys, the giveaway, the animal, the shapeshifter, and the Morgan. Oh, wow. The Morgan, goddess of death and magic. This is powerful. The Morgan is one of the goddesses that's linked back to the triple moon goddess, the maiden mother crone. She is often in her crone energy as a wise elder. She is also linked with the energy of warfare and the battle. And there is strong energy that's coming forward here that part of your life purpose is to be a warrior, that you are going to be helping people to have a deeper understanding of creation, of how things are built in our physical world. Now, I'm not talking about how things are made as far as like production. I'm talking about manifestation with this crystal keys. There is a shift that's going to be taking place inside you, if it hasn't already taken place, where you are going to be given insight into who you are on a much deeper level. You're going to be granted access to wisdom and knowledge, experience that you have brought in from past lives. You are an infinite being. You live forever. You have had hundreds, if not thousands, of past lives. In every single one of those past lives, you were living in a different community, playing a different role. And when you were participating in the lessons of that life, you were gaining skills. You had different jobs and you were doing different things. And also, just through the lessons of life, we learn how to empathize with others. We learn what it feels like to walk a mile in another's shoes. And we come into this life and we are barred from that knowledge until there's a breaking point, until you have a spiritual awakening, if you will, and all of a sudden energy starts shifting in your chakra system and you start to look at the world through a different lens. Now, for some of you, you might actually have a remembering where you literally start remembering past life energy, or you connect with talents and skills that you had in past lives. It's like child prodigy type energy where all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, all of a sudden this skill that I was really struggling with, like I was struggling to pick up guitar, you become like a master of your instrument or your craft. And it's because you are gaining or you're given access to that knowledge that you already had. But it could be philosophies. It could be, perfection of the mind, where all of a sudden you start to align with who you really are. You move beyond the ego, beyond this animalistic reaction that we have to our place in the world. This survival of the fittest energy. And you understand that you're literally shaping your world on a day-to-day basis. Thoughts become things. You understand that there is infinite potential for everyone to succeed, for everyone to have abundance and a fulfilling life, but it's our own self-limiting beliefs and our belief that there isn't enough to go around that limits us. And all of a sudden you are going to freely give. You're going to give of your time. You're going to give of your resources. You're going to give of your knowledge. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be giving away everything to the point where you are being taken advantage of. With the energy of the Morgan, it's very clear that you're going to have strong boundaries. The Morgan was an energy that would test people. There are many different myths of her presenting herself as a needy elderly woman, and those that were cruel to her would be punished. She would reveal herself for the goddess that she is, and they would be quaking in their boots. They would be fearful for their lives. And those that treated her well, she bestowed great abundance on them. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be giving to those that are deserving, because they also freely give unconditionally of love, time, resources, and they understand that everyone is worthy of success and opportunity. And those that want to stick with the old system where we are going to hoard resources, you will not give them the time of day. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be like hostile towards them, but you are no longer going to be playing their games by their rules. Absolutely not. You're truly going to be a warrior for creation, is the energy I'm getting. Like, you're going to master the art of manifestation to really understand it. And I'm not talking about just love and light. Like, there's lots of people that talk about manifestation, right? They talk about it in terms of you have to be thinking positively. You have to constantly be in a high vibrational state. But what they do is they avoid looking at the darkness. They want to avoid doing the shadow work. They want to avoid that hard things and awful things take place in the world. And therefore, if you're part of a group of people that are being persecuted, or you've had great hardship, how can you relate to that? Because it's like, you want me to pretend that none of this stuff happened? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is becoming empowered. You still have empathy and compassion for people, and you are well aware of what happened, but you dive into the darkness. You heal your own wounds, and you rise up like a warrior, and you are going to create the world that you want with laser precision, laser focus. You know exactly what's happened, but you're not going to be a prisoner to the past. You are going to release yourself from that. It doesn't mean that you are going to have relationships with the people that hurt you. You're just not going to have any time for them at all. And you're never going to let them derail you, because oftentimes people that are trying to keep others in a place of disempowerment, they use narcissistic tactics. So they gaslight you, which is like making you question your own sense of reality. Or they attack you like trolls on the internet. If you have ever had political, conversations with people on, say, TikTok, and they will just immediately jump on you, and they're like pulling out all kinds of, they're spinning the conversation, so you can't get them to sort of focus on one aspect of the conversation. And they'll attack your character so that you feel like you have to defend yourself. Those are narcissistic tendencies. What they're doing is they're spinning the conversation, so now you're on the defensive, which automatically makes them seem like they're in the right? Because you get more agitated, and you get more assertive, or you get more aggressive sometimes. And you react possibly with the same kind of violence that they have projected to you. And then they point the finger at you and they say, look, you see, this is what I was talking about. You're the one with the problem. You can't participate in that at all, no matter who they are. People will do this in your relationships. They will do this in your workplace. They will definitely do this if you are trying to politically make any kind of change. You can't react to that at all. Because as far as manifestation goes, like I said, your thoughts become things. You need to know exactly what they're doing. You're well aware of how warped and twisted their thinking is, and you're not going to allow them to control your emotions at all. You are like in complete alignment with who you are, and you're not going to let anything that they say to you derail you. You just ignore, and you just keep charging forward, right? No matter how many arrows fly down on you, you keep charging against your enemy, and you focus on the outcome that you want. And that's when the energy starts to shift. Because when we react emotionally to the craziness that other people are saying, you're actually adding to their manifestation. And that's not what you want, right? You want your outcome. So it's an art. It truly is. But you're gonna master this, right? So that you can be empowered on top of the issues. You're not shrinking away from it. You're truly a powerful warrior, and you are going to force change. That is the energy that I'm getting, and I'm so thrilled. Okay, so let's find out how you guys are going to be doing this. This is like, you're like front line for a major change. What field is pile number 2 going to be? Ooh, interesting. You got Joan Collins. So this to me says that you are going to be a warrior in love. That this has something to do with romantic love because of the content of her books. These were all romances that Joan Collins was writing. You are likely going to be battling the patriarchy. Many of you are going to be battling the patriarchy. And I don't just mean that you're battling it in terms of, like equality in workplaces. I mean, you're literally going to possibly be battling this within your own home with your spouse or with your partner. That this is going to be something that's going to be right inside under your own roof. Now that's some of you. Let's see. Let's see. Edward VIII. Edward VIII was meant to be king, and he abdicated the throne because he fell in love with a woman who was a divorcee. And at that particular point in time, the King of England could not marry a divorced person. So again, it's about love. And it's also, I mean, with the Joan Collins, it feels like you are, battling gender stereotypes and rules within your own home. But with this, you're battling against the system as well. What is the system telling you? Who can you love? You're not going to allow that. You're going to love who you want to love. And you're also going to expect and you're not going to accept a partnership where your partner doesn't respect your role and doesn't want to contribute to the dynamic of your family or, your partnership 50-50, which is beautiful. One more. Oh, you got 2 more. Oh, yes. This is strong feminine energy that's coming forward with these 3 cards. You got Cleopatra. I mean, Cleopatra was a very, very capable leader. She came into power at a very young age. She had to be very intelligent about how she moved to a position of power. She had to go up against family members that wanted to see her dead. She had to work in a male-dominated world and use her feminine energy to her advantage. She basically used the fact that men underestimated her to her advantage. And she used her sensuality and her sexuality as a tool to get what she wanted. And it looks like you're doing that as well. Marie Antoinette, you may very well be a master of presentation, because I think of Marie Antoinette as being somebody who really was about luxury and presentation and gossip. I also think of gossip with Marie Antoinette. You are going to be able to present yourself in the right light so that people see you as an authority. And a very feminine is the energy that's coming out. And it doesn't mean that you're a woman. It's a harnessing of the divine feminine energy within you, which we all have, which is partially why, because this strongly is coming forward as patriarchal energy. That is why there is an imbalance, because the patriarchy wants you to think that men are just divine masculine, and that's it. And it's not that way. We have both energies in us, and that's why our identity is a spectrum. That's why you should all be able to define yourself any way you want to, because there are no hard and fast rules. That's an illusion. Then Rihanna, yes, definitely harnessing your sensual nature, and she just will not back down. She is very strong in who she is, and she will say what she needs to say. And I bring this up all the time. When people are rude to her, when paparazzi are rude to her, she will call them out, and she does it in the most elegant but direct way. And it's something about her eyes. When she cuts her eyes at someone, it's like Medusa turned to stone. She has it down. And that's what you're going to have too. And I so am in love with that. Okay, let's get some more cards, right? These are all from the same deck. Yep. Okay. What is pile number 2 going to be doing? How are they going to manifest this purpose? Let's see. Oh, Estee Lauder. So you are likely going to have your own platform or your own business. Estee Lauder, multi-level marketing is partially at play with Estee Lauder, with getting women involved in the sale of products. But she also was the one who originated the gift with purchase. So there's an innovation that you're going to be participating in. Now, you may also be a creative of some kind, right? A writer, a musician, be involved in style and fashion in some way, be in a leadership position, in makeup. You might be in a traditionally feminine field, and you're going to be changing that, because honestly, these traditionally feminine fields are still ruled by men. I worked in fashion for 20 years, and I always worked for men, and you would have plenty of women. Women would be the supporting structure, and it would always be 1 or 2 guys at the very top who were very sexist, very sexist. I had a lot of issues with the sexism in the fashion field, and they would call the shots. So you might be in a position where you're battling for feminine voices to be heard in a field that is catering to feminine energies, right? Men who are, the leaders in a company that sells sanitary napkins. What do they know about sanitary napkins? Why is it all men at the top? That's the kind of energy I'm getting, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it could very well be. Let's find out about, let's see. Opham, nature. So you're going to be getting messages from nature. When you got thunder and lightning, power. This is the energy of fire. So this is a real destruction energy as well. It feels like you're going to know it when that time is right for you to, I just heard strike when the iron is hot. There's going to be a moment in time where all of a sudden you have to rise up like the warrior, and you're going to strike. And it could be a situation where all of a sudden you disclose something, possibly online, about your workplace harassment, or there's something that needs to be revealed, or you go out on your own. There were situations with this one company that I worked with where we designed hair accessories, and I kept saying, why are we not designing any hair accessories for people that have hair texture, that have hair that isn't straight and Caucasian? And I kept saying that over and over and over again. Why aren't we doing bobby pins that are different colors? You know, we did bra accessories too, like taping and like, you know, things to like, so you could wear a dress so that it didn't show through. And I was like, why is the skin tone on all of these for white people? And I was told time and time again by the men at the top that we don't need that. You know, there's no market for different shades, or, you know, we're not going to be able to make sales. We should just concentrate on this one category. Meanwhile, that company that I was working for was selling products to Walmart, to Winners, to Dollarama. You know, it was BS. And I was appalled by that. It was like there was plenty of other problems with that particular company, but that's like rampant. It might be a situation like that kind of thing happens and you're like, okay, fine. If that's how you're going to be, I'm going to go and create my own business that caters to the people that I know exist, that need these products, and they matter, and they should have a voice. I'm getting all worked up. It really bothered me. Okay, so this skills that you are going to be bringing to the table. Yes, you got the wonder of colors. So this is talking about you having alignment of your own energetic system, being able to have open chakras, to be able to see opportunities and raise your vibration and get messages from spirit so that you can really take action, to be able to think outside of the box. You got mind focus, to really be able to focus what you want your outcome to be. So you start your own business and you focus intently on what you want to happen. You build this business and you're like, I know that this is going to be a success. I know that spirit is going to show my work to the right audience that's going to respond to this, because I know that I'm being called to do this. And without a doubt, you're going to be successful. You also got nature's healing power, and you got that Opham nature card. So there has something to do with you also having work-life balance, to be able to balance things out. So you're not like sort of part of the rat race where you're constantly doggedly working towards something to the point where you're just suffering from exhaustion. That's really important, because I do get that energy from you that you put your heart and soul into things and you just work and work and work and work and work. And there's going to be a point where you realize that you really have to nurture yourself as well. So what is the outcome going to be for pile number 2? Nice. Let's get these. What's the outcome going to be for pile number 2? Oh. Yes. Okay, so there has been a situation in your life where you were feeling quite powerless, that you were in the energy of the beginning, where like you were the student. And Page of Swords, Page of Wands, Page of Coins. You were trying to start your life. Maybe you were looking to others as leaders, and you realized these people don't know what they're doing. They don't have the vision. They don't know. They can't teach me what I need to know. They are not on the same page as me. They want only one outcome, and I'm going to go a different direction. You're being divinely guided, the Star card, towards a brand new way of communicating, to start talking about yourself and others in a totally different way, to be able to raise up the voices of those that haven't been able to be heard and recognized, because there is one small group of people that is dominating the dialogue and is in control of the media and is able to filter out anything that they think is not going to benefit them, and you are going to chop through all of that. You are going to go on a journey with the Fool where you are going to turn away from all of the ego. You're going to turn away from everything, like I was saying before, that no longer suits who you are in your heart, and you're going to charge forward towards a new way of manifesting with the Knight of Coins. You know that what you want has never existed yet, but that's what innovation is, right? It's going against what already was. If we had just stuck with what already was, and we were just constantly going back to, well, this is what it was like 200 years ago and everything was so much better. Not that any of us were alive then. How would you know what was better or what was worse? If we had continually done that, there are entire countries that wouldn't exist. It was innovative people that broke away from things that were not functioning properly. Groups of people that had no opportunity turned away from that and went into the wilderness to create something brand new. All innovation comes from a desire for things to be different, and you're going to be part of that shift. You're going to be part of that innovation. So let's see if there's some guidance for you guys. What guidance do you have for pile number 2? All right, let's see. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. It's so true. The hardships that we go through, because people that have this warrior spirit, you've probably been beaten down a lot. You've probably had a lot of people tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. You should keep your opinions to yourself. They may have just been playing mind games with you. They may have very physically tried to silence you. And it breaks you down. And the thing that's hard about it is when you have a warrior spirit, you can't stop, right? There's still that part of you that's like, you can't, like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just shut your mouth and be silent and it's like, fine, I just won't say anything and I'll just give in and you know, just carry on. But you can't, because you're a warrior. And it just, every time somebody beats you down, it's like you die inside a little bit more. But it's breaking down these concepts, this ego, so that people that have nothing left to lose are the strongest people, right? Because you will literally go up against anything, because anything is better than where you've been. That's what they're building you up to, which probably sounds really scary, but you're not going to be alone, and you've got to answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? You're being called to the battle. You're being called to share something. Keepers of the earth, you're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. This could very well have to do with your cultural heritage, where people have said that you're not worthy, or you have no place here, or you're beneath me, and you have to fight against that. But you can't play by their rules, right? Like I was saying before, you have to fight back against the tactics that they're trying to get you to fall for. I highly recommend for all of you, look into narcissism, narcissistic abuse, coercive control, because it's the same pattern. It doesn't matter if you're in a domestic violence situation, whether you're in a toxic work life or workplace, or whether it is the government or some other organization that's trying to control you. They all use the same tactics. Once you learn the tactics that narcissists use in general, you will be able to spot it from a mile away, and you'll never fall for it again, because you'll realize they don't think the same way that you do. I'm not saying that you're better than them or they're worse than you, but they have warped thinking, and it's not healthy. And trying to like have a rational conversation with them where you use logic will never work, because they don't, it's a matter of power and control. So if they can get you to emotionally react to something, especially to drive you to anger, they automatically feel like they've won, because it's all about getting you to react. It has nothing to do with logic. They don't even often believe in what they actually say. So you can't play into that. You have to fight against that. So like I said, narcissistic, abuse, coercive control, look those up. You got Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realm. This came out in pile number 1 as well. You are being divinely guided. This is powerful energy. You have the warrior spirit. You have ascended masters that have already gone through this entire journey of being on earth, being embodied. They've gone through it all. And ascended masters are, you know, often they're the figureheads of every major world religion. But it's not just, you know, the figureheads like Buddha and Jesus that are ascended masters. There are plenty of energies that have gone through this entire cycle, and they have wisdom to share, and they communicate with you through your own energy system, which is ruled and filtered by your chakras. And you got awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So you're going through a major ascension in this life. You're going to grow and shift and change, and things may not be in focus for you yet, but it will come. You know, it's a gradual process. Like, it took me years to get to where I am now, and never in a million years would I have thought that I would have this kind of clarity or perspective that I have now. I wouldn't have ever been able to, you know, in my wildest dreams, conceive of where I am now or where I'm going, right? And it's scary. I get scared too, but you are protected, and this is going to change everything for you, as well as those that you love. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated with you. I hope that you found a sense of power and strength from this reading as well. I would love to know your thoughts on it. I know it was heavy. I'll be honest, every single one of these so far has been really heavy, and I just have to go with it, right? So, yeah, please let me know what you guys thought. If any of you guys are interested in working with me, please go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my booking and service information is available there. I do tarot card readings live and recorded. I do spiritual coaching where I can help you with any area of your life. I do mediumship where I can talk to your spirit guides, or Akashic readings where I look at your past lives. And I also do Reiki crystal healing. So, this was a pleasure, guys, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Hi, pile number 3, welcome back. So you picked the water lily, just put that there, and you also picked the green fuchsite. And I want to let you guys know I'm running a contest this month. You can win a free mini reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, comment on the video, and then on the first of the month, I'll announce the winner on my community tab. And I love to hear how the reading resonated for you, so definitely comment. And this is going to be the last mini reading giveaway that I'm going to be doing for the next little while. So definitely comment and subscribe if you'd like to get in on that. And these cards are going to let me know what your life purpose is. So let's see. You got the Loving Compassion card, the Drum, the Riddle, and Persephone with Liberation. Oh, wow. Okay, so your life purpose has to do with you letting go and surrendering. The riddle is talking about the endless pursuit of answers. It's talking about us striving for something that is unknowable and unreachable. For some of us, that is to have a deeper understanding of the universe and why, you know, certain things happen. You know, an example is, why do bad things happen to good people? For others, it's striving for goals or achievements or a level of status that we think will fulfill us or make us happy, or the approval of others. And with Persephone and liberation, this is talking about being able to walk between two worlds, with Persephone being the wife of Hades, and she had to spend half of the year with Hades in the underworld, and then the other half of the year she would spend with her mother Demeter on the earth. And when she was gone, the earth would be plunged into darkness and winter. And it's a symbol of the cycles of life and the seasons. But I think it has a lot to do with you being able to go through periods of sadness and pain and not be so thrown by it that you feel like there's no meaning to life, that you understand that there's a rhythm, right? With the drum, there's this rhythm of life where we go through highs and lows, and you are able to have compassion for yourself no matter how you react to the situation. If you fail, you're okay with that. If you succeed, you're okay with that. You celebrate the joy and you mourn the sadness, but you don't allow the sadness to take away from the energy of the joy. You also are able to see that other people are going through their own battles, and they have their own limitations, and you have compassion for them despite how toxic they may be towards you. Not that you're going to let toxic people to stay in your life. That's not what I'm saying. You are definitely aware of how toxic they are, and you release them from your life. But you make peace with what happened so that you don't have to prolong your own suffering any longer, and that you can just surrender to the flow of energy so that you can move to a higher state of being and experience more satisfaction and more joy and more fulfillment. And it's hard. This is a hard lesson. It really is, because you look around at the world and people that are really truly horrible people, like in many ways, on a soul level, everyone is beautiful. Everyone is perfect. But in an egoic way, they're making the most horrible, disgusting decisions, and they do awful things to their fellow human beings and the planet and the other occupants of the earth. And they succeed over and over and over again. And that can be a hard pill to swallow. Now, ultimately, from a spiritual perspective, the reason for that is that we're all here to learn lessons and grow, and not everyone is the same age. Typically the people, which is like crazy to me, but I'll tell you what is going on, because maybe it'll help you to accept this. The people that are in charge right now are the youngest souls that are on the planet. They are very young, they're very egoic, and they are pleasure-seeking. And because they have ultimate confidence that they know everything, like a teenager, they succeed when it comes to manifestation, because they fully believe, very narcissistically, that they deserve everything that they have. And because of the law of attraction, that is delivered to them. In addition to that, they have extra support from the universe because they're younger and they're more vulnerable, like children, having caregivers. And those of us that suffer the most are the more advanced souls, are the older souls. They're the mature and the old souls that have been there, done that, and we can take it. And as I've come to understand this, and my guides have explained this to me, there has been times when I went through deep depression where I was just like weeping. Like I just could not wrap my head around how that was just. But ultimately, it's because we learn the most from the pain. And when we learn a lesson, it elevates our vibration and it expands on our heart chakra, where we can come to a place where we are just emanating pure love. And that is the truest energy of creation. And if you can come to a place of peace with the fact that things are not necessarily just in terms of the way that we as humans see justice, you can start to focus on what is working out for you and amplify that. Because the more we amplify the positivity and the more we start to manifest beautiful creation, the more we can shift the entire scale of energy so that the low isn't as low and as dark and the high is much higher, right? So we're going to move the whole scale. We are living in a universe of duality, so no matter what, there will always be what we perceive as darkness, but the darkness doesn't have to be as dark. We can start to elevate and move up the vibrational scale, right? And then as the universe expands, there'll be new worlds, if you will, that are created that are where we are now, and we move up higher, higher, and higher. That, for some of you, you may not be very spiritual, and you might just want, you just like the entertainment of pick a card readings. And this might be like way over your head right now, but I feel like you're coming to a place where some of the stuff I'm talking about will start to make sense, because I didn't always understand this stuff either. I had to go through a long period of growth where I was slowly having these truths revealed to me. And I still struggle with some of this stuff, because with the state of what's going on in the world, like, there is so many times when I'm like, I know that this is how it works, but this is absolute BS. And I cannot believe that this is what's going on. And I have to just come to a place of peace after I get very angry and I get very emotional, and then I come back to a sense of peace. And I pull myself together and I focus myself on my work again, because this is the way that I help move that bar, right? And you're going to move it in a different way. But ultimately, that is the energy of you being able to come to a state of peace where you see the cycles and you understand that everything ultimately is working out exactly as it's meant to. And you can only control what you can control. Right? Like the serenity prayer. I've said this before. God grant me the serenity to change the things I can. The, what's the next word? I don't know. It's like the peace to accept the things I can't and the wisdom to know the difference. Roughly, that's what it says. That's not a word for word quote, but roughly that's what the serenity prayer is. And you just have to come to a place where you accept that there are only certain things that you can change, and those that you can't, you just have to release out of your life and make peace with that. So let's find out how you guys are going to be doing this. Like, how is this going to manifest in your career, in your life, in general? How is this going to affect pile number 3's career? How are they going to show this in their day-to-day life? How is pile number 3 going to show this? Ooh, Josephine Baker. Beautiful. Really, really breaking the mold. Josephine Baker, trailblazer, went through a lot of discrimination, was innovative, and truly not respected for the artistry and the innovation that she brought to the world of dance and performance within her home country of the United States, and moved to Paris, France, where she found that she was given the respect that was lacking in her home country, and she ended her life there. And she's still an icon of dance and beauty and grace. She's a symbol of the free-spirited flapper. So you are going to bring that kind of innovation, and you are going to move away from the energies that seek to control you. Like Josephine Baker, I'm not saying that you're going to necessarily move away from your country, but you're not going to participate in systems that don't support you being authentic. And you also got George Clooney. You are gonna control the narrative, right? George Clooney starting off in television, moving on to movies, and then ending up doing directorial and production work. He climbed up the ladder. He has a lot of intelligence and charisma, and he took control of what the narrative was. He had the money and the resources to be able to launch the projects that he wanted to launch. And it sounds like you're going to be doing the same thing, where you might accept that you can't control everything, but you're going to make sure that you're controlling the things that you can. 100%. Ooh, I love that. Okay, let's see. How is pile number 3? Ooh, good. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Okay, let's see. You got Enzo Ferrari, so you might be doing something that has to do with luxury and branding. Both George Clooney and Josephine Baker definitely are linked back to personal brand. So you might be a figurehead, maybe even something possibly political or philosophical with Karl Marx. You might be bringing about new theories, new ways of talking about our social structures, our humanity. It could be anything though. It could be the economy that you're talking about, inequalities of some kind. But there's definitely something very political about what you're going to be doing. Dr. Dre, cool. So you may be doing something that has to do with music or communication in general, right? You're talking about something, and you are talking about your community, your experience. And again, something about branding, because I think about beats and being able to potentially, you are in one industry and you're able to find ways to have sort of like satellite streams of revenue, or at least be able to link what your core business is with other avenues that are linked to create a bigger dialogue, to have more of an influence. It's the energy I'm getting there. Arnold Schwarzenegger, again, yes, with this pivoting, like being known as this, superstar bodybuilder, but then transitioning into politics. So it might be a situation where you are working on a particular industry and then you start shining light on that industry, shining light on the inequalities, or, like you are like a model and then all of a sudden you become an advocate for body positivity and you start shining light on like the toxic practices within that work environment, something like that. It definitely has something to do with pivoting, but it may not be something that is so warrior in spirit. It definitely feels like it has something to do with politics, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are having verbal confrontations with people. You very well might be finding a way to deliver a political message, but in a way that is palatable to people or is approachable. A great example of that is the way that comedians approach political conversations, right? So you like all kinds of, I'm thinking of Kids in the Hall. You guys probably know what Kids in the Hall are, because there was a re-release of Kids in the Hall. Canadian comic troupe from the 90s, talked a lot about things that were like really important to Gen Xers. And there was a lot of dystopian types of jokes in that particular comedy series. So people still found it entertaining. And then in addition, there was all this, like dialogue and conversation about things that people weren't talking about, like gay rights, for example. So you might be doing something like that. And then you got Elon Musk. So it could be something about science and innovation. It could be something about sort of looking towards the future. It could be something to do with the energy that I'm getting here is also having to do with something with possibly Silicon Valley or space. So it could be something to do with programming or intelligence of some kind. It could also mean that you're going to be aligning with people that have power in a traditional sense. It could be you aligning with people that have money, investors of some kind that are going to help you to sort of get this message across. So let's see what kind of psychic abilities or spiritual talents or gifts you have that are going to help you with this. Nice. What kind of, okay. Ooh, thunder and lightning power. This came out in pile number 2. You have a lot of passion for whatever it is, whatever your message is, whatever this inequality or this, whatever this thing is that's been like rubbing you the wrong way, that you're going to surrender to and accept that it is what it is. You're also going to be fired up to change it, but not in the same way that you were in the past, right? Just to reiterate, it's like you're not going to allow yourself to be put in a place of disempowerment where you're fighting against a power structure that's never going to want to yield. You're going to get smarter and you are going to truly find your power and make the right decisions. You're going to feel it out in your energy, basically. It's like an alignment of your chakras, downloads, and aligning with the right people, being at the right place at the right time. You got pendulum, decisions. Pendulums are used to not only find out if your chakra is aligned, but also to get yes or no answers. I guess you could also use it like on a letter board to get detailed answers as a form of divination, to get messages from the other side. You're going to be able to make decisive decisions from a place of knowing. You got psychometry, sensitivity. So they're going back to this loving compassion. You are going to have a deeper understanding of the other people that are around you that are possibly fighting against you, and understand how confused and scared and lost these people are. Most of the people that I see that are fighting for an outdated system that is trying to place some people at a disadvantage, they don't even understand, they don't see the fact that they're also going to be negatively affected by this. They buy into the idea of what could be, the spin that the powerful people, present to them, thinking, oh, well, this is only going to affect those other people, but it's never going to affect me. And that's wishful thinking, because ultimately the people that are in power are just manipulating them. They're going to take control of everything if we let them. So yeah, you're going to be able to feel that out. You're going to have empathy and compassion for those people, which also elevates you to a higher position of power, right? Because love is stronger than hate. What else? Oh, yes, Wheels of Light. Oh my God. What was I just saying? Like, you are going to be in alignment, truly in alignment, where it's like you are going to be unshakable, nurturing thyself. Yes, your sense of self-worth will come from within, no longer from outside of yourself. Nothing anyone else ever says to you will ever rattle you. It will never shake you, because they can say you're selfish, or you're not intelligent, or you're not worthy of this, opportunity. And you'll know that that is their own pain speaking. Like, it has nothing to do with you, right? They're afraid. They're afraid. And so that's what this is. fighting against their own shadow, against their own fear, and you're going to just walk away from that. And then if you stop fighting them, then the only person that they will be left with is themselves, like just disengage. And then you got reaching out to spirit. So you're going to be leaning more into your spirituality and possibly others that are on the same spiritual journey as you to help you with this. You're going to get these elevations and upgrades in your energy system. So you likely will get actual downloads. It'll be like epiphanies about things, like things that didn't make sense all of a sudden will make sense. And you will not necessarily know how that happened. You'll just know that you don't see things from the same perspective any longer. And maybe you'll start a regular meditative practice or a practice of prayer. And I don't mean prayer in the context of like organized religion. I just mean you having your own thoughts and conversations with your spirit guides or your ancestors or your higher self, or if you don't believe in any of that, just with yourself, right? It doesn't matter who you think you're talking to, as long as you're looking at yourself first and foremost to define who you are and whether you're worthy. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Society wants you to think it does. It does not. It does not. You are the only person that matters. If you love yourself, everything else can shift around you because your thoughts become things. It might be a few growing pains, and it can be a little bit lonely, I'll be honest with you at first, but it gets better. It really does. So how is this going to manifest for pile number 3? How is this going to manifest for pile number 3? What is this going to look like for pile number 3? Okay, so the only 2 cards that were flipped up, we'll start with those. So you've got the Lovers and the 9 of Wands to start off with. Let's see what else we got here. Ace of Coins, 10 of Cups, oh my God, 8 of Swords, and Fortitude, which is also the Strength card. There's the 8 of Swords, 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Coins. Okay, so it looks to me like for some of you, this has to do with love relationships, being in a place of disempowerment because you may have looked for other people's approval to have a sense of self. That could have been in romantic relationships. I am not judging. I did exactly the same thing for like the majority of my life until I realized that that was a negative cycle of karma, that it was just going to lead to more pain over and over and over again. And I realize that giving love to those that are incapable of giving love back didn't change anything, right? I can't force somebody to evolve. I can't force somebody to have empathy and compassion and love for others or for self. They have to go through that on their own. I can only love myself. And I found this strength, and you will too, to walk away from those people, to walk away and release the self-limiting beliefs like the 8 of Swords. And I started to have strong boundaries, and you will as well. And through that, I started to manifest the life that I wanted and the partnerships that I wanted. And then all of a sudden, things started working out in my favor in a way that I never could have anticipated. And it's building up to a 10 of Cups for you, where you're going to have complete fulfillment in all areas of your life. If you want to have a family, that can be yours. It will be a balanced partnership with you and another person. You will have all of your material needs met. It will be what you design it to be, right? It won't be like a light switch. It's just like this is what I want, and like all of a sudden tomorrow, there it all is. You still have to put the work into it. But miracles will start to unfold for you, and it will be weird things that you just never anticipated. You know, like for myself, I'll give you an example. Working away on my business, I all of a sudden get a message from someone that I knew when I was a child because our parents were friends. She wants to buy a gift certificate for a friend of hers so she can have a session done. I do the session for her friend. It's positive. And all of a sudden it started this domino, this chain of events where now I've worked with like 10 of these friends that are all interconnected. Now, I never could have anticipated that. And it's still growing every single day. I'm learning. It's like one person works with me and then they all of a sudden suggest me to somebody else and to somebody else. And it's like growing like mushrooms. Like yesterday I had 4 bookings just from this one connection as it grows and grows and grows. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot anticipate how this is all going to unfold, and you're going to have the wisdom to not try. You're just going to let it go, and you're going to just focus on what you want your life to look like, and you're going to let the universe do the rest. And you're going to know if there's a time when things are sort of like a low point for you, that is okay, because ultimately it's moving towards a high point. You just have to keep your vision locked on what you want. And not fall for any of the distractions. So what advice do you have for pile number 3? What advice do you have for pile number 3? You got answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And the great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive Hits Soul Tribe. You have already been feeling like there is something that you need to be doing, saying, participating in, someone you need to be connecting with. There is something that you know in your heart of hearts that it is the thing that you are here to do. It's the thing that brings you the most joy, the most connection, the most optimism, that makes you feel the smartest, the most beautiful, the most talented, the most grounded. And that's what you need to be pursuing doggedly. You need to start prioritizing it. And you can ask the universe for help, right? Like whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, I do like pray. I ask my guides, help me, guide me to what I need to be doing. How do I shift the energy so that this is manageable? And sometimes it's a matter of walking away from the self-limiting beliefs, not falling prey to the energies around us that say that we have to constantly be working. You know, that is brainwashing by capitalist powers that want you to constantly feel like you have to be hustling to get ahead. No, studies show that if you are exhausted, your brain functions at a lower rate of, what's the word I'm looking for? You aren't able to problem solve to the same level of efficiency, is basically what I'm trying to say. And so pushing yourself harder isn't necessarily helping you to get ahead. You may actually be slowing down your level of productivity because you're exhausted and you're not able to think clearly. So sometimes taking a break actually helps you to move forward. Sometimes taking a break also takes the pressure off of the universal energies because you're not having laser focus on it, and that's when the energy can flow forward. Because if you are trying to manifest something and every single second you're looking at what the outcome is going to be, is like, is the email here yet? Did I get the promotion? Did I get the contract? Did I get the connection? Whatever it is, you're actually manifesting you not gaining that because you're actively participating in the wanting. So if you're constantly seeking, the universe will consistently set up a chain of events where you're still looking and looking and looking. You have to set your intention, 100% believe it will come to you, continue to work towards it, and trust, have faith that it will come around to you. And you'll see it happen with the things that like you're not as passionate about, you know, like you'll just, like I've given this example before, like I really wanted a dress form for sewing that was adjustable so that I would be able to alter my clothes to perfectly suit me and not have to like try it on, try and pin it on me, and you know, like just that's a nightmare, right? And I thought about it once, let that thought go, and then like 2 weeks later, I was about to take my dogs out for a walk, and all of a sudden my neighbor was bringing out one of those dress forms and was about to like put it in the garbage and was like, do you want this? And absolutely I wanted it, you know, like it was just like perfect timing. She didn't want it, or she was going to give it to charity, or I don't know what she was going to do with it. She was just bringing it out of her house, but it was like I was there at the exact moment, and I didn't even have to say anything to her. I just looked at her and she immediately was like, do you want this? I was like, yes! That's what I'm talking about. You just have to have that level of faith with everything. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this helped you. It was such a pleasure delivering this reading for you. Please like, share, subscribe. I want to know how you guys felt about the reading, and it also enters you into the contest. If any of you guys would like to work with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com, and all of my services and booking information are available there. I can always give you more detail on your life purpose. This is a general reading, so this is generally what you're going to be doing, but each one of you has your own pathway forward. You're going to execute this in a different way, and so I can always help you with that. I do tarot card live and recorded readings, and I do spiritual coaching, I do Reiki crystal healing, and I do Akashic Records readings, and I do channeling, mediumship with your spirit guides. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then definitely email me or go to my website. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care.